guys, today we're going to talk about the process for obtaining the New York State license to carry a handgun. So everything has changed since last year after the Bruin decision, which overturned the previous law, the Sullivan Act, which required a good reason to obtain the permit. So right now, that's not the case anymore. There is no longer a requirement for a good reason. So pretty much anyone can apply who is eligible. So let's talk about who's eligible. So first of all, you must be 21 years old and a legal U.S. resident. Secondly, you cannot be a convicted felon or have any misdemeanor domestic violence convictions. You cannot be a user of an illegal drug, including marijuana, by the way. So even though marijuana is now completely unrestricted and legal for use in New York State, you're still not allowed to get your pistol permit if you do use marijuana. So that is something to take into consideration. You may not have been committed involuntarily to a mental institution. And of course, you need to be either a New York resident, or if you are not a New York resident, you need to own a secondary residence in New York State or work in New York State. So let's say, for instance, you are a Florida resident and you own a vacation home in New York State, you will be able to apply. Or if you live in New Jersey and you work in New York, you're able to apply. But if you live in Nebraska and have no connection whatsoever to New York, you are not eligible to apply. Last thing, according to the new regulations which were passed after Bruin, applicants need to be of good moral character. Now, what exactly that means, it's hard to say. In my opinion, a lot of people in New York City are not of good moral character and certainly shouldn't be getting anything, but that's neither here nor there. So let's talk now about the process. What's the process to apply for the carry permit? So first of all, you got to pick up your application form. In most counties, it is at the county clerk, your local government office, but in New York City, for New York City residents, it has to be at One Police Plaza, Manhattan. That's the only place you can actually get your application form, is at One Police Plaza. You're going to need 4 character references. People that know you for at least 1 year and can vouch for your good character. They're going to be getting letters from the Sheriff's Department, and they're going to have to respond to those letters. They're going to have to mail them back. If they don't do that, it's going to delay the whole application process. So you're going to have to be on top of making sure that your character references are really, responding. You're going to have to provide links to your social media accounts. So if you have Facebook, if you have LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, you're going to have to provide that. I realize that this is invasive and unconstitutional, but the way the law is right now, you do need to provide that. One alternative is to just delete all of your accounts, and then you can truthfully say that you don't have any, and they can't deny you based on that. So that's another option that you may choose to proceed with. You are going to need to get fingerprints and photographs. So everything's done electronically now. They don't use the ink anymore. They will probably do that for you. They may require you to go to a different office to get the fingerprinting and then bring them a receipt, which will have everything in the computer, in the system. Last but not least, now you need to do 18 hours of firearms training. That's right, 18 hours. It didn't used to be that way before the Bruin decision, before the Hochul's new laws restricting access to concealed carry. It used to be just 4 hours. I used to do that course. It was very simple and easy, and there was no live fire requirement. Now it is 18 hours, including a minimum of 2 hours live fire on the range. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. The more training we get, the more training you can possibly get, the better you're going to be and the more safe and secure you're going to be. I disagree with the fact that it's required. I think it should be something that just people do for common sense, but it is required. And you have to go to a firearms instructor that is certified and recognized by the state of New York to give those courses. So, by the way, we do that here at Cherev Gidon. One of the things that we do is the New York State 18 hours concealed carry training course, including the 2 hours live fire, so you're welcome to do that with us. And then once you have everything together, your application is all filled out, and you have all the paperwork that may require you to provide proof of residency, etc. You put that all together, and you book an appointment to turn the paperwork in to your county clerk or at One Police Plaza. It is important to say New York residents, New York City residents, they also actually require you to turn in your traffic history, believe it or not. So if you got pulled over for speeding, things like that, you actually need to turn that into. New York City is really trying everything they can to undermine your right to carry a firearm, and they will do everything they can to put stumbling blocks in your way. So just be aware that there are more requirements in New York City than in New York State as a rule. Once that is all turned in, the process should take about 6 months for them to certify you and get you your permit, so long as everything goes smoothly, so long as all your character references do respond promptly to the letters, so long as there's no hang-ups there. Once you have your permit, you have to go and purchase a handgun. You go to an FFL dealer and purchase a handgun, and then they will give you a receipt. You take that receipt back to the county clerk, and you obtain what is known as a pickup slip, a purchase slip. With that slip, it allows you to buy and take possession of the specific handgun that is listed on the slip, the one for which you already purchased and have the receipt for. You then take that slip to the FFL, the dealer, at which point you can take possession of the handgun and you are legally allowed to carry it. So there are, of course, many restrictions now as to where you can carry the firearm, but in general, that's the process. And so if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to assist you and answer any questions that you may have and help you go along the way to obtaining your carry permit. It's very important to mention that if you do not have a permit for a pistol in New York State, you are not allowed to possess any type of pistol whatsoever. It is a complete violation of the law. If you live in another state and just feel like driving in with your handgun, you cannot do that. That's not true for rifles, but it is true for handguns. So don't think that there are any exceptions to the rule. If you want to carry a handgun in New York State, if you want to just even own one in your home, you have to have a license first. So make sure to follow the regulations and stay out of trouble. Be happy to have you for the training, 18-hour class, or any other training you choose to do with us. See you next time.